All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you here from Rosie's Corner. It is indeed Friday again. It is indeed Fish Friday. You can get, of course, a sandwich with the fries and the coleslaw, or pair it up with the mac and cheese. You can get the haddock dinner as well. Make sure you get on down here for Fish Friday. You're in and around Central New York. It's all about Fish Friday. The theme food days: Meatloaf Monday, Turkey Slop Tuesday, Wednesday Chicken and Biscuits, and soon the menu will change with the season. Get on down here for your pizza wing combinations as well. And remember, throughout the rest of the Syracuse basketball season, any pizza wing combination, no matter what it is, you get a free 2-liter of soda of your choice. So come on down to Rosie's Corner here, right in front of the Brewerton Bridge in Brewerton, Route 11, right off of the Bartell Road exit, just a few minutes away from pretty much every town here in Central New York. And of course, go like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, see all the specials, see all the theme food. It'll make your mouth water for sure. Pizza, wings, pasta, hot and cold subs, you name it, here at Rosie's Corner, a proud sponsor of the ML Sports Platter. So I wanted to kind of dive deep into the most intriguing division in Major League Baseball, in my opinion, going into the 2020 season. The AL East, I don't think will be as easy for the Yankees as I noted last week in a video, but I think they will win the division. The Central is quasi-interesting. I think the White Sox are a little ways away. The Royals and Tigers are going to be terrible, and I think the Indians and Twins are going to duke it out. The West is going to be, obviously the Astros situation, of course, in Oakland and the Angels. Maybe those three teams go at it. The Central will be a Cubs, Cardinals, sort of Brewers situation. But those things are playing, and then, of course, in the NL West, I think the Dodgers are going to win that division by at least 10 or 12 games. So that leaves us with, voila, the NL East. And I think this division, top to bottom, is incredibly intriguing for so many reasons. So let's unpack all of the layers. Number one, you have the defending World Series champion in the Washington Nationals. This team, I think, is ready to repeat. I don't think they will, but I think they have a terrific chance because they go into the season with the best pitching staff in Major League Baseball. Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Patrick Corbin, Anibal Sanchez. They've got a potpourri of terrific players, even with losing Anthony Rendon. Now remember, this is back-to-back seasons where the Nationals have lost a power offensive player, an MVP-like player, back-to-back years. Bryce Harper, now Anthony Rendon. But as we saw last year, losing Bryce Harper didn't hurt the team at all, and I think losing Anthony Rendon will hurt a little bit from a depth perspective and all the rest. But now is Carter Kieboom time. I remember a few years back when the Syracuse Chiefs still existed, I remember talking to scouts and talking to executives and people within the Washington National framework, and they said, just wait till you see this Carter Kieboom guy and what he's going to be able to deliver from a 3 or 4 tool standpoint. He has potential to be a 5-tool guy if he really improves on his power and his base running. Voila, we are here. The Carter Kieboom era is upon us, and I think the Washington Nationals offensively anyway, led by Juan Soto and Victor Robles, who I think is going to have a bigger year this year than last. I still think he's got to get 110% healthy, but there's 2 5-tool players right there. I think Juan Soto is probably right behind Ronald Acuna Jr. in terms of guys who I would want to have for the next 5 to 10 years from the under 25 range. This guy is a major, major player, great arm, runs the bases well enough, hits for average and for power, and from the left side is a devastating presence. He walks enough, he does enough damage across the board, hitting the ball to all places on the field for the Washington Nationals. So I think the Nationals, in terms of being the defending champ, I think you have to start and end there, and until they don't win it, they're obviously a favorite to win the World Series again. Remember, we haven't had a World Series winner back-to-back in 20 years. The New York Yankees, the last team to do that in 2000. Now, as far as the rest of the division goes, the Atlanta Braves primed and ready to win a pennant, a World Series, another perhaps a playoff spot, division title, etc. This Braves team is rocking and rolling. You've got some youth across the board when it comes to not just Ronald Acuna Jr., who I mentioned, but you have Ozzie Albies. They're built really well up the middle. You've got Austin Riley and a bunch of guys who are ready to take the next step for the Atlanta Braves. And you look at the pitching staff, you look at the bullpen. They have a lot of power arms in that organization. They're deep, they're versatile, and they're built right up the middle. The Atlanta Braves, I think, will be the number 1 prime contender for the division head-to-head with the Washington Nationals. Then you move forward from the division there, the Philadelphia Phillies, an unbelievable amount of money spent last year acquiring free agents, grabbing Andrew McCutchen, grabbing James Segura, grabbing Bryce Harper, grabbing JT Realmuto, grabbing a bunch of pitchers and players across the board. The Phillies go out and they spend more money. They acquire Joe Girardi as a manager. They go get Didi Gregorius to play some shortstop, left-handed bat. help balance the lineup a little bit. Certainly a tremendous presence in the clubhouse as well. The Philadelphia Phillies should be a team to be reckoned with in 2020, and frankly, the players going to accept anything less. The fan base, even more than that, is not going to expect anything less as well, considering the disappointment with the Phillies last year. They were in the $600 million range spent the last couple of years. They kept spending. Their goal is ultimately the prize as well. Of course, a World Series like everybody wants to win, but the Philadelphia Phillies, a big market team that continues to spend. The time is now for the Phillies to make the postseason. Then you move to the New York Mets. Certainly a lot of momentum at the end of last year. We know that they have some major studs in the lineup led by Pete Alonso and company. And of course, a new manager in Rojas and the rest with the disaster that was with Carlos Beltran getting hired and then fired because of his involvement with the Houston Astros scandal. The New York Mets lineup is pretty darn good. The question becomes, again, the health of the rotation and the bullpen. What's Edwin Diaz going to do? Have you ever seen a closer from one year to the next fall so fast like Edwin Diaz did? I mean, as a closer a couple of years ago, this guy was a Cy Young candidate, and then last year it looked like he'd never gripped a baseball before. I expect him to kind of find his way somewhere in the middle, but he's a huge component for the Mets, as is the bullpen, as is the starting rotation, the health of DeGrom, the health of Syndergaard. What are they going to do with Steven Matz? We know the situation. They lost. There's another guy that I forgot to mention with the Philadelphia Phillies. They signed him to big money. But the New York Mets should be a wild card contender. And again, these teams play each other in the division 19 times each. So the New York Mets will be a team to pay attention to. Again, I know what Met fans are thinking. Yeah, right, in the beginning of the season we have hope, and then something always happens, and it probably will be the case again. But a lot to look for there, and I think this has got to be the year for the Mets to figure out Ahmed Rosario. How is this guy going to play into the team? Where is he going to play in the infield? Do you use him as trade bait or whatever? This is a year to figure him out for the Metropolitans as well. And then, last but not least, and I say that because I think they're going to be a lot better than people think, the Miami Marlins under the direction of Derek Jeter and company. This is the year where Derek Jeter and his people promised, be on the lookout for 2020, 2021, 2022. These are the years where we're going to see a lot of those guys from those trades. Stanton, Ozuna, Yelich, a lot of the guys coming through, the AA arms that are coming through. A lot of the guys in low and high A ball from last year have made a major jump now through the Miami Marlin organization. They've got some major players ready to go. And remember, when you're young and you're fighting for spots, you are grinding and playing your absolute tail off every day to try and win a spot in that roster, in that rotation, in terms of the pitchers and in terms of the starting lineup that Don Mattingly posts on the board every single day. So the Miami Marlins, I think, will, they'll be below 500 by 10 or 15 games, but I don't think it's going to be easy for teams to walk into Marlins Park and vice versa. When the Marlins go on the road, I don't think it will be an easy walkover. We have the Marlins competing. We have the Phillies starving and spending money. You have the Mets storyline building off the momentum from last year. You have the Braves ready to pounce as well to win a pennant, and the Washington Nationals as the defending champs. I personally think out of the 6 divisions in Major League Baseball, the NL East is the most intriguing for those reasons going into 2020. I'm Mike Lindsley. 9 minutes with me here from Rosie's Corner. Come on by, get the pizza, get the wings, get the pasta, the hot and cold subs. You got to try the Lunas. You got to try the chicken parm subs to die for here at Rosie's Corner. Of course, it is Fish Friday, meaning you get the haddock or the fish sandwich. You can get it for lunch or dinner. Pair it with the mac and cheese or the fries and coleslaw. You will not be disappointed. Jason, Jody, and the gang doing an amazing job here. They've got the salads and the drinks in the cooler as well. So get on down here to Rosie's Corner, a proud sponsor of the ML Sports Platter. And hey, as I always tell you, enjoy the games.